Hey everybody, how's it going? Matthew Kadish here, author of the Earthman Jack Space Saga, available on Amazon.com and other fine online retailers, so go check it out if you want to support the channel. Guys, I got some news about one of my favorite movies of all time from the 80s, The Lost Boys. Yes, this classic vampire tale of teen angst and massive power ballads. The Lost Boys has been getting the TV development treatment for some time now, and news has just come out giving us an update on what's going on with it. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with what's been happening, basically, producer and writer Rob Thomas, who some of you might recognize from his other TV series, he's the creator behind Veronica Mars. He's also done iZombie on the CW. And, he's been involved with a lot of different TV series over time. He was one of the co-creators of the rebooted 90210 and things of that nature. But he's the guy behind the TV version of The Lost Boys. And we're over at this Deadline article, and we're going to talk about what's been happening with it. Now, it was announced a little while back that they had shot a pilot for the show, but apparently the pilot failed to impress the network, so they're going back to the drawing board with it. The CW's The Lost Boys pilot did not make the cut to series in May, but the network kept the project alive, ordering a retooled pilot. The writer, Heather Mitchell, is doing a rewrite on the script now. We have gotten through the notes process. The project's executive producer, Rob Thomas, told Deadline at TCA on Friday. We are going to shoot the pilot this fall. The retooling is not extensive. There were scenes that we thought we could do a better job on, so it's going through a 40% rewrite. It's not a total rewrite. Two options of two cast members from the original pilot, Medelion Rami and Dakota Shapiro, have been extended. They will be joined by new co-stars in the new pilot, with casting yet to begin, Thomas said. For him, The Lost Boys has been a labor of love. It's been 4 years that I've been playing around with The Lost Boys, trying to get it made, Thomas said. He first took a stab at conceiving and writing the series adaptation of the iconic 1987 Warner Brothers horror comedy movie during the 2016-2017 development season. While the project didn't go to pilot, the CW execs remained high on the title. 2 years ago, I wrote a very outside-the-box version of it, Thomas said of his Lost Boys script. The network didn't want to go that far outside the box, so unfortunately, the writer who is working on it right now, Heather Mitchell, fortunately, the writer who is working on it right now, Heather Mitchell, loves the original movie and is eager to make the series look a little bit more like the original Lost Boys. It's two human brothers showing up in this California beach town and the amusement park of a vampire infestation. It's going to have a lot in common with the movie. In the Lost Boys reboot, after the sudden death of their father, brothers Michael and Sam Emerson move to Santa Carla with their mother Lucy, who hopes to start anew in the town where she grew up. But the brothers soon find themselves being drawn deeper and deeper into the seductive world of Santa Carla's eternally beautiful and youthful undead. Shapiro plays David, portrayed by Kiefer Sutherland in the 1987 film, while Raimi, however you pronounce that, plays Stella, a version of the star character played by Jamie Gertz. How does it feel to watch another writer tackle the Lost Boys series? It's exciting, says Thomas, whose company Spoondooley produces the project with Warner Brothers TV. I had a way I wanted to do it that was exciting to me. Once the network didn't want to do it, I was eager to give them the version that they would like to put on air. Usually that's just smart television producing. I think that it would have been very hard for me, but I love that she is doing it. I love that she's a big enough fan of the movie and that she wants to keep it a lot more recognizable. All right, so for those of you who don't know any of the background on this, so Rob Thomas had a very kind of different idea of what he wanted to do with The Lost Boys. He didn't want to just do an adaptation of the movie. His original concept was actually an anthology series, kind of like American Horror Story, where each season has like a new location, a new cast, or I should say new characters to it. And basically his initial version of this Lost Boys TV show was that it would start in the 1970s And it would focus on the group of vampires, the Lost Boys, basically. And they would be the only thing that was consistent from season to season because they're basically immortal. But it would be in like a different city, and they would have a different like adventure or conflict that would take place in there. And then the next season would be at a different time period, but with the same Lost Boys and different, surrounding characters and stuff like that. So it's kind of an interesting concept that Rob Thomas wanted to follow with, and he basically took it to pilot, which is kind of like the first episode of the series, which often networks will order in order to kind of get a sense of whether or not they want to actually order more episodes and take it into a full-blown series. So it's kind of like a test case scenario where they order like one episode just to see what the show would be like, and then decide whether or not they want to continue with it. So Rob Thomas's initial version of this anthology show got a pilot episode ordered, and the CW didn't like it. Basically, the CW has made a lot of inroads with their vampire-themed TV shows. So, like, you have stuff like The Vampire Diaries and The Originals, for instance, which have been hugely popular on the CW. And I think they were looking at The Lost Boys as something very similar to those things, which is what they wanted. And Rob Thomas's original vision for the show just didn't fit that. Now, keep in mind, I think Rob Thomas is actually a really good creative head and a really good producer, really good writer. I very much enjoy iZombie, as goofy as that show is. It's still pretty good. But the most recent season of Veronica Mars that was revived on Hulu, Veronica Mars Season 4, was excellent. It was amazing. It was probably Rob Thomas's best work. And so I feel like, he's a creative head who knows how to make changes and adapt and grow as a writer and a storyteller. And I feel like he understands that the CW wanted something different than what he originally wanted, so he brought on this new writer to kind of come in and basically give the show what they want. And it's going to be a more straightforward adaptation of the movie. I think that a lot of like nostalgic movie fans, because The Lost Boys does indeed have its fan base, are going to be happier with this, seeing it kind of translated more directly to the small screen, as opposed to the anthology format that Rob Thomas initially wanted. So I'm excited about hearing about this retooling. It sounds like they're only kind of redoing about 40% of what they previously had going on, but it sounds like it's going in the right direction. And I have faith in Rob Thomas as a producer that, him and this Heather Mitchell, who's doing the rewrite on the script, are going to give the CW what they want, and the CW is going to order it to series, and we're going to get to see a brand new Lost Boys TV show sometime in 2020 and possibly 2021. Who knows? But I'm excited about this, especially after having watched Veronica Mars Season 4, because that show was very well done. Even compared to the previous 3 Veronica Mars seasons, which I thought were just okay, and I didn't much care for the movie, but the Season 4 of Veronica Mars was a great story, and I really think it shows that that Rob Thomas is growing as a storyteller, because he was the showrunner on that. And he's also the showrunner on iZombie, which has gotten very good as well, and I believe it's wrapping up its final season. So I have a lot of hope for Lost Boys, but what do you guys think? Are you going to want to check out Lost Boys when it comes out on CW, if it comes out? Do you like the direction that it's going, or would you rather prefer the anthology format? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more movie news, TV news, and entertainment news and analysis, be sure to subscribe for my channel. I try to put out videos daily. Anyway, guys, this is Matthew Kadish. I'll catch you later.